Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, featured in the South Park episode Trapped in the Closet, which aired in November 2005, experienced a significant career decline in the years immediately following the broadcast, resulting in what industry analysts described as a shift from untouchable A-list status to controversial figure requiring image rehabilitation. At the time of the episode, Cruise was at the zenith of his Hollywood dominance, having starred in War of the Worlds, which grossed over $600 million worldwide, and having negotiated what economist Edward J. Epstein described as the most lucrative film deals in history, with annual earnings around $75 million and a net worth exceeding $250 million. His aggressive promotion of Scientology, including the May 2005 incident where he jumped on Oprah Winfrey's couch, declaring his love for Katie Holmes, and his public criticism of Brooke Shields for using antidepressants, had begun eroding his public image, which the episode's closet gag directly exploited by playing on rumors about his sexuality that intensified with his devout Scientology involvement post-divorce from Nicole Kidman. Following the episode's broadcast, Paramount Pictures terminated Cruise's production deal in August 2006, with studio chairman Sumner Redstone publicly citing Cruise's behavior as unacceptable and stating it had cost Mission Impossible 3 hundreds of millions in potential revenue, resulting in the film grossing $398 million globally against a $150 million budget, significantly underperforming expectations. His relationship with Katie Holmes, which dominated headlines in 2005 when they went public in April, and announced her pregnancy in October, culminated in marriage in November 2006 and the birth of daughter Suri in April 2006, but eventually dissolved in June 2012 when Holmes filed for divorce and was granted primary custody, with media reports suggesting her desire to distance Suri from Scientology played a role in the split. The Mission Impossible franchise, which continued with Ghost Protocol in 2011 grossing $694 million, Rogue Nation in 2015 grossing $682 million, Fallout in 2018 grossing $791 million, Dead Reckoning Part 1 in 2023 grossing $567 million, and the upcoming Dead Reckoning Part 2, scheduled for 2025, demonstrated Cruise's ability to rebuild his box office appeal through action spectacles and practical stunt work that earned critical praise. Over time, Cruise focused on these action-heavy roles rather than dramatic performances, which resulted in a career redefinition from versatile dramatic actor to specialized action star, with films like Edge of Tomorrow in 2014 grossing $370 million and Top Gun: Maverick in 2022 becoming the highest-grossing film of his career at $149 billion. His continued devotion to Scientology, in which he holds the status of a high-ranking member and has been described by former members as the church's most prominent advocate, remains a source of controversy, with documentaries like Going Clear in 2015 featuring accounts from former Scientologists alleging abusive practices and detailing Cruise's central role in the organization. At some point during the 2010s, Cruise's public image underwent rehabilitation as media coverage shifted focus from his personal eccentricities to his commitment to performing dangerous stunts, including hanging from the side of a plane during takeoff for Rogue Nation and breaking his ankle during a building jump for Fallout, which earned him respect as a dedicated craftsman. As of 2026, Cruise maintains a net worth estimated at $600 million, continues to command $20–30 million per film, and remains estranged from daughter Suri, who he reportedly has not seen since 2013, according to multiple sources, with Holmes having successfully shielded her from Scientology involvement. Kanye West. Kanye West, featured in the South Park episode Fish Sticks, which aired in April 2009, underwent a transformation from hip-hop innovator to increasingly controversial public figure over the following years, resulting in a career marked by artistic achievements overshadowed by erratic behavior, mental health struggles, anti-Semitic statements, and eventual professional exile from major corporate partnerships. By 2009, West was a hip-hop titan, fresh off the release of 8 Hurt 8s and Heartbreak in 2008, which debuted at #1 and sold over 1.7 million copies while pioneering the use of autotune in rap, following earlier albums The College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation, that had won multiple Grammy Awards and established him as a producer-rapper-innovator, earning $30–50 million yearly from music, tours, and Nike's Air Yeezy sneaker line launched in 2009. The episode's gay fish joke targeted his perceived arrogance, which manifested publicly in September 2009 when he interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the MTV Video Music Awards with the statement, "I'ma let you finish," resulting in widespread backlash that damaged his image and led to what he later called a tipping point in his public perception. West was reeling from his mother Donda's death in November 2007 and a breakup with fiancée Alexis Pfeiffer in 2008, which fueled emotional turmoil that he later revealed was connected to bipolar disorder, though at the time, it manifested in public outbursts and blog posts admitting ego issues. His subsequent albums, including My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010, which many critics consider his masterpiece and which sold 1.3 million copies in its first week. Jesus in 2013 with its abrasive industrial sound, The Life of Pablo in 2016 which underwent multiple revisions post-release, and Ye in 2018 produced during a manic episode in Wyoming, demonstrated continued artistic evolution but increasingly erratic rollout strategies. At some point during the 2010s, West's fashion ambitions materialized through his Yeezy brand partnership with Adidas, which launched in 2015 and eventually grew into a business generating $1.7 billion in annual revenue by 2020, contributing to his billionaire status with Forbes, estimating his net worth at $6.6 billion in 2021, primarily from the Yeezy brand valuation. His marriage to Kim Kardashian in May 2014, following years of friendship and a relationship that began in 2012, produced 4 children: North-born 2013, Saint-born 2015, Chicago-born 2018 via surrogate, and Psalm-born 2019 via surrogate, but dissolved when Kardashian filed for divorce in February 2021, which was finalized in November 2022 with joint custody arrangements. West's mental health struggles became increasingly public, with a 2016 hospitalization for exhaustion and paranoia, a 2018 appearance on TMZ where he stated, "Slavery was a choice," resulting in immediate backlash, and multiple instances of erratic social media behavior, including a 2020 presidential campaign announcement and rally, where he revealed he and Kardashian had considered aborting their first child. The systems involved in his professional decline include the termination of corporate partnerships, public anti-Semitic statements, and social media controversies, which culminated in October 2022 when he made anti-Semitic comments on Twitter and in interviews, stating he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, and expressing admiration for Adolf Hitler in a December 2022 interview with Alex Jones. Following these statements, Adidas terminated the Yeezy partnership in October 2022, resulting in an estimated $1.5 billion loss to his net worth overnight, while other partners including Balenciaga, Gap, CAA Talent Agency, and Def Jam Records severed ties, effectively ending his mainstream commercial viability. Over time, West legally changed his name to Ye in October 2021, released the album Donda in August 2021, which debuted at #1 and sold 309,000 units in its first week, and continued to court controversy through associations with far-right figures and conspiracy theorists. As of 2026, West's net worth has plummeted to an estimated $400 million from its 2021 peak. He remains largely blacklisted from major corporate partnerships and mainstream media platforms, and he continues to release music independently while maintaining a presence primarily among fringe audiences and conservative media outlets. Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez, featured in the South Park episode Fat Butt and Pancake Head, which aired in April 2003, evolved from multimedia powerhouse and tabloid fixture into one of entertainment's most enduring and commercially successful performers, resulting in a career spanning music, film, fashion, and business ventures that has sustained her A-list status for over 2 decades, despite the episode's mockery of her stereotypes and sex appeal. At the time of the episode, Lopez was at peak tabloid fame with her album This Is Me, then selling 2.6 million copies and featuring hits like Jenny from the Block, while her engagement to Ben Affleck since November 2002 created the Bennifer phenomenon that dominated media coverage, resulting in their September 2003 wedding postponement due to media frenzy before the relationship ended in January 2004. She had starred in Made in Manhattan in 2002, which grossed $154 million, and the notorious flop Giggly in 2003, which earned only $7 million despite a $54 million budget, while earning $12 to $15 million per film and launching fragrances and clothing lines that contributed to her $50 million net worth at age 34. Following the Affleck split, which she later described as her first real heartbreak, Lopez married singer Marc Anthony in June 2004, resulting in a 7-year marriage that produced twins, Em and Max, born in February 2008 before ending in divorce, finalized in June 2014. Her music career continued with albums including Rebirth in 2005, Como Ama Una Mujer in 2007, which was her first Spanish-language album, and Love, in 2011 featuring the hit On the Floor, which became one of the best-selling singles of all time with over 8.3 million copies sold globally. At some point during the late 2000s, Lopez transitioned into television as a judge on American Idol from 2011 to 2012, and again from 2014 to 2016, earning a reported $12 to $20 million per season and revitalizing the show's ratings while introducing her to a new generation of fans. Her film career evolved to include romantic comedies like The Backup Plan in 2010, action films like Parker in 2013, and dramatic roles like Hustlers in 2019, which earned her widespread critical acclaim and Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild nominations for her portrayal of a stripper-turned-scam artist, resulting in what many considered a career-best performance at age 50. The business empire she built includes fragrances that have generated over $2 billion in sales since 2002, a production company, New York & Productions, founded in 2001, and various fashion and lifestyle brands, which contributed to her becoming the highest-paid Latina actress in Hollywood history. Over time, Lopez's personal life continued to generate headlines through relationships with dancer Casper Smart from 2011 to 2016, baseball player Alex Rodriguez from 2017 to 2021, including an engagement announced in March 2019, and a rekindled romance with Ben Affleck in 2021 that resulted in marriage in July 2022, nearly 20 years after their initial engagement ended. Her Las Vegas residency, All I Have, ran from 2016 to 2018 across 120 shows that grossed over $100 million, while her 2020 Super Bowl halftime show, co-headlined with Shakira, drew 104 million viewers and became one of the most-watched halftime performances in history. Lopez launched her own beauty and skincare line JLo Beauty in January 2021, her cocktail brand DeLola in April 2023, and continues to release music including the albums AKA in 2014 and This Is Me, now in 2024, which served as a sequel to her 2002 album and was accompanied by a musical film. As of 2026, Lopez maintains a net worth estimated at $400 million, continues to command $10 to $15 million per film, remains married to Affleck in what media outlets describe as a fairy tale reunion, and is widely regarded as having successfully navigated 4 decades in entertainment while defying age expectations and maintaining relevance across multiple industries. Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand, featured in the South Park episode Mecha Streisand, which aired in February 1998, maintained her status as an entertainment legend and influential cultural figure in the decades following the broadcast, resulting in a career that continued through selective projects, political activism, and business ventures, while the episode itself became a recurring reference point in the show's mythology. At the time of the episode, Streisand was 56 years old and had just married actor James Brolin in July 1998 after 2 years of dating, marking stability following her 1971 divorce from Elliot Gould, while her album Higher Ground, released in 1997, had sold 5 million copies and debuted at number 1, contributing to her $200 million net worth and annual earnings of $20 to $30 million from music and films. She was an EGOT winner, having achieved Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards, with her 1996 film The Mirror Has Two Faces earning her an Oscar nomination for Best Actress, though her semi-retirement from touring followed lyric mishaps during performances that stemmed from anxiety issues she managed throughout her career. Following the episode, Streisand released the album A Love Like Ours in September 1999, which sold 1 million copies and debuted at number 6. Christmas Memories in 2001. The Movie album in 2003, Guilty Pleasures in 2005, which reunited her with Barry Gibb and debuted at number 5, and Love Is the Answer in 2009, which debuted at number 1, demonstrating continued commercial viability in her 60s and 70s. Her return to touring began with a series of concerts in 2006 and 2007 that grossed over $92 million, followed by a 2012 tour grossing $40 million, and a 2016 tour grossing $50 million, which overcame her decades-long stage fright and proved her enduring appeal to audiences willing to pay premium ticket prices exceeding $1,000 for prime seats. At some point during the 2000s, Streisand became increasingly involved in political activism and fundraising for Democratic candidates, hosting events for Al Gore, John Kerry, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden that raised tens of millions of dollars, while using her platform to advocate for environmental causes, LGBTQ rights, and women's issues through her Streisand Foundation, which has donated over $25 million since its 1986 founding. The film career she maintained included Meet the Fockers in 2004, which grossed $516 million globally, and became one of the highest-grossing comedies of all time. Little Fockers in 2010 grossing $310 million, and The Guilt Trip in 2012 with Seth Rogen, though she largely focused on voice work and producing rather than leading roles. Her marriage to Brolin remained stable over the years, with the couple residing in a Malibu estate featuring an elaborate underground mall containing shops, a doll store, and an antique mall built to house her extensive collections, which became emblematic of her perfectionism and taste for luxury, documented in coffee table books about her homes and possessions. Streisand released her memoir, My Name is Barbara, in November 2023 at age 81, which became an instant bestseller and provided detailed accounts of her Brooklyn childhood, rise to fame, relationships including her romance with Prince Charles in the 1990s, and responses to critics throughout her career. The albums she continued to release include Encore, Movie Partners Sing Broadway in 2016, which debuted at #1, making her the only artist to have #1 albums in 6 consecutive decades, Walls in 2018, which addressed political themes and debuted at #12, and Release Me Too in 2021, featuring previously unreleased tracks from her vault. As of 2026, Streisand maintains a net worth estimated at $400 million, remains married to Brolin after 28 years, continues to be selective about public appearances and performances, serves as a mother figure to son Jason Gould, who came out as gay in the 1990s and pursues his own entertainment career, and maintains her reputation as one of the best-selling recording artists of all time, with over 150 million records sold worldwide. While the Mecca Streisand character has appeared in multiple subsequent South Park episodes, cementing her place in the show's recurring mythology. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, featured in the South Park episode The Passion of the Jew, which aired in March 2004, experienced a dramatic fall from Hollywood grace following the episode's prescient mockery of his lunatic tendencies, resulting in a career collapse triggered by anti-Semitic incidents, domestic violence allegations, and racist rants that transformed him from Oscar-winning director and box office star into industry pariah, requiring years of rehabilitation. At the time of the episode, Gibson had just directed and produced The Passion of the Christ, which opened in February 2004 and ultimately grossed $612 million globally on a $30 million budget, making him a controversial auteur, facing accusations of anti-Semitism for the film's portrayal of Jewish responsibility for Jesus' crucifixion. While his net worth stood at $850 million, and he earned $25 to $40 million per project following his successes with the Lethal Weapon franchise and his 1995 Best Director Oscar win for Braveheart. He was married to Robin Moore since 1980 with 7 children, maintained sobriety after struggles with alcoholism, and practiced devout traditionalist Catholicism that informed his faith-driven projects, though the episode captured emerging concerns about his intensity and rigid beliefs that would prove prophetic. The career collapse began in July 2006 when Gibson was arrested for DUI in Malibu and launched into an anti-Semitic tirade against the arresting officer, stating, "The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world," and asking, "Are you a Jew?" resulting in immediate public condemnation, an apology statement, and his entry into a recovery program for alcohol abuse. His marriage to Moore ended with her filing for divorce in April 2009 after 28 years, which was finalized in December 2011 with a settlement reportedly exceeding $400 million, making it one of the costliest celebrity divorces in history and significantly impacting his net worth. At some point during his relationship with Russian pianist Oksana Grigorieva, which began in 2009 and produced daughter Lucia born in October 2009, recordings surfaced in July 2010 of Gibson making racist, misogynistic, and threatening statements including, "You look like a fucking pig in heat," and "I am going to come and burn the fucking house down," resulting in a restraining order, a guilty plea to battery charges, and further damage to his public image. The professional consequences included lost roles, with studios distancing themselves from projects associated with him, his planned Viking epic being shelved, and his removal from The Hangover Part 2 in 2011 after cast members including director Todd Phillips objected to his cameo appearance. Over time, Gibson attempted a comeback through directing projects including Hacksaw Ridge in 2016, a World War II drama starring Andrew Garfield that earned 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture and Best Director for Gibson, grossing $180 million globally and demonstrating his technical filmmaking skills remained intact despite his personal controversies. His acting career continued with supporting roles in films like Edge of Darkness in 2010, The Beaver in 2011 directed by Jodie Foster, who defended him publicly, Machete Kills in 2013, Bloodfather in 2016, and Daddy's Home 2 in 2017, though he no longer commanded leading man status or the $20–30 million salaries of his peak years. Gibson directed the World War II film Hacksaw Ridge, which premiered at the Venice Film Festival in September 2016 to standing ovations, followed by various acting projects that kept him employed but never fully restored his A-list status. While some industry figures, including Robert Downey Jr. and Jodie Foster, publicly advocated for his redemption. The relationship with Rosalind Ross, a former champion equestrian vaulter who became his girlfriend in 2014 when she was 24 and he was 58, produced son Lars, born in January 2017, marking his 9th child and demonstrating his continued personal life controversies given the 35-year age gap. As of 2026, Gibson maintains a net worth estimated at $425 million, following the divorce settlement and reduced earning potential. Continues to work primarily behind the camera with his production company, Icon Productions. Remains a polarizing figure who is hired for character actor roles but is unlikely to achieve mainstream rehabilitation. Has not experienced another major public incident in recent years, suggesting sustained sobriety. And represents a cautionary tale about how personal behavior can destroy even the most successful Hollywood careers regardless of talent or box office track record. Britney Spears. Britney Spears, featured in the South Park episode Britney's New Look, which aired in March 2008, emerged from the conservatorship that controlled her life for 13 years and experienced a cultural reassessment that transformed her from tabloid tragedy into symbol of media exploitation and victim of systematic abuse, resulting in a freed woman rebuilding her life outside the entertainment industry while her legacy underwent substantial re-examination. At the time of the episode, Spears had just been placed under conservatorship on February 1, 2008, following psychiatric holds in January that resulted in her losing autonomy to her father, Jamie Spears, having recently lost custody of sons Sean Preston and Jaden James to ex-husband Kevin Federline following their 2007 divorce, and was struggling with postpartum depression, paparazzi harassment, and public breakdowns, including the infamous head-shaving incident of February 2007. She had released the album Blackout in October 2007, which debuted at number 2 and sold 3 million copies globally, despite her personal turmoil. Guest starred on How I Met Your Mother in March 2008, signaling an attempted comeback, and maintained a $60 million net worth, though financial control had passed to the conservatorship overseen by her father and attorney Andrew Wallet. The episode depicted her as a sacrificial victim of media exploitation, which many critics later recognized as prescient commentary on the real exploitation she was experiencing, with co-creator Trey Parker stating the episode was intended to critique celebrity culture's treatment of troubled stars. Following the conservatorship's establishment, Spears released the album Circus in December 2008, which debuted at number 1 and sold 4 million copies globally, featuring the hit Womanizer that reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, followed by a successful world tour in 2009 that grossed $131 million and demonstrated her ability to perform despite her personal restrictions. Her subsequent albums included Femme Fatale in 2011 debuting at number 1 with 276,000 first-week sales, Britney Jean in 2013, which underperformed commercially, and Glory in 2016, which received positive reviews. While she maintained a Las Vegas residency, Britney Piece of Me from 2013 to 2017 that grossed $137 million across 248 shows and became one of the highest-grossing residencies in Las Vegas history. At some point during the conservatorship years, Spears began expressing desire for freedom through social media posts, court testimonies, and coded messages that fans analyzed as cries for help, resulting in the Free Britney movement that gained mainstream attention around 2019 and brought scrutiny to the legal arrangement that controlled every aspect of her life, including her finances, career decisions, healthcare, and personal relationships. The conservatorship abuse she detailed in a June 2021 court testimony included being forced to work against her will, being prevented from removing an IUD despite wanting more children, being forced to take lithium, and being threatened with loss of visitation rights with her sons if she didn't comply, resulting in widespread public outrage and increased pressure on the courts to terminate the arrangement. Her father, Jamie Spears, was suspended as conservator in September 2021 following allegations of financial mismanagement and emotional abuse documented in court filings that showed he had been paid over $6 million throughout the conservatorship while restricting Britney's access to her own $60 million fortune. The conservatorship was officially terminated on November 12, 2021, after 13 years and 11 months, which Spears celebrated with Instagram posts expressing her joy and relief, though she later revealed the trauma of the experience in social media statements and her memoir, The Woman in Me, published in October 2023. Her memoir became an instant bestseller, selling 1.1 million copies in its first week and providing detailed accounts of her relationship with Justin Timberlake, including a 2000 abortion that Timberlake wanted, her father's control and emotional abuse, forced performances while sick, and the systematic stripping of her autonomy by those who profited from her work. Following her freedom, Spears married longtime boyfriend Sam Asghari in June 2022 at her California home. Though the marriage ended with Asghari filing for divorce in August 2023, after 14 months citing irreconcilable differences, resulting in another failed relationship following her 2004 annulled marriage to Jason Alexander and her divorce from Federline. Over time, Spears has stated she has no plans to return to the music industry or perform again, posting on Instagram in 2022 that she is traumatized by the entertainment business and needs time to heal, though she occasionally shares singing videos and has hinted at writing new music on her own terms without pressure from management or family. As of 2026, Spears maintains a net worth estimated at $70 million. Lives in California with no current romantic partner, has estranged relationships with both sons, who moved to Hawaii with their father and rarely communicate with her according to Federline's statements. Maintains limited contact with family members following public feuds with her sister Jamie Lynn and mother Lynn, continues to use social media as her primary communication platform where she posts dancing videos and stream of consciousness captions that generate concern from fans, and represents a cultural reckoning about how society treated young female stars in the 2000s, with documentaries like Framing Britney Spears in 2021, prompting apologies from media figures who participated in her public ridicule. Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton featured in the South Park episode Stupid Spoiled Whore video playset, which aired in December 2004, transformed from reality TV party girl and famous for being famous tabloid fixture into successful businesswoman and advocate for institutional abuse survivors, resulting in a career that defied expectations by building a multi-billion-dollar business empire while using her platform to expose the troubled teen industry. At the time of the episode, Hilton was 23 years old and at the peak of her reality TV fame with The Simple Life airing from 2003 to 2007, having just released her memoir, Confessions of an Heiress in 2004, which became a bestseller and launched her first fragrance that would eventually grow into a $2.5 billion perfume empire, while dating Paris Latsis following her engagement that lasted from May to September 2004 and her previous relationship with Nick Carter. The episode's Spoiled Whore label directly referenced the 2003 sex tape with then-boyfriend Rick Salomon that was released as One Night in Paris shortly before The Simple Life premiered, which Hilton later revealed in her 2023 memoir was released without her consent and caused enormous emotional trauma, though it undeniably boosted her public profile and contributed to her party girl image. Her business ventures expanded rapidly following the episode, with her fragrance line launched in 2004 generating over $2.5 billion in revenue over the next 2 decades across 25 different scents, while she built a licensing empire that included handbags, clothing, accessories, shoes, and watches sold in over 100 countries. At some point during the late 2000s, Hilton transitioned into DJing and became one of the highest-paid female DJs in the world, earning up to $1 million per appearance and performing at festivals and clubs globally, which provided a new revenue stream beyond her reality TV roots and demonstrated business acumen that critics had underestimated. Her memoir, Paris. The memoir published in March 2023 revealed that as a teenager she was sent to Provo Canyon School in Utah, where she experienced physical and emotional abuse, including being hit, having medication forcibly administered, being placed in solitary confinement for up to 20 hours, and being subjected to cervical exams she later described as sexual abuse, resulting in PTSD that she only began processing decades later. Following the memoir's revelations and the 2020 documentary This Is Paris, where she first publicly discussed the abuse, Hilton became an advocate for reforming the troubled teen industry, testifying before Congress, lobbying for state legislation, and supporting other survivors who came forward with similar stories of institutional abuse at residential treatment facilities. Her personal life included high-profile relationships with Nick Carter from 2003 to 2004, Paris Latsis with the broken engagement in 2004, Greek shipping heir Stavros Niarchos from 2005 to 2006, and various other partners before meeting venture capitalist Carter Room in 2019, resulting in marriage in November 2021 at a lavish ceremony that was filmed for a Peacock special. Hilton and Rheum welcomed son Phoenix via surrogate in January 2023, followed by daughter London via surrogate in November 2023, marking her entry into motherhood at age 42 after years of stating she wanted to focus on career before starting a family. The business empire she built includes 19 product lines, 50 stores worldwide, and ventures in real estate, NFTs, and the metaverse, with her total earnings from all business ventures estimated to exceed $4 billion according to some valuations, far surpassing the Hilton hotel fortune she would have inherited and proving her business acumen beyond her heiress status. Over time, public perception of Hilton shifted from viewing her as a vapid party girl to recognizing the deliberate persona she cultivated, with interviews revealing the dumb blonde voice and behavior were performance art designed to build a brand, while her actual business decisions demonstrated strategic thinking that generated enormous wealth independent of her family name. As of 2026, Hilton maintains a net worth estimated at $300 million from her business ventures, lives in Los Angeles with her husband and 2 children, continues to expand her business empire while advocating for child welfare and institutional reform, has stated the South Park episode hurt her feelings at the time, though she now views it as part of her cultural impact and represents a rehabilitation story where someone dismissed as talentless and famous for nothing built legitimate business success while using her platform for advocacy work addressing childhood trauma she privately suffered while publicly embodying carefree excess. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, featured in the South Park episode A Million Little Fibers, which aired in April 2006, maintained her position as one of the most powerful and influential media figures in the world following the episode's mockery of her book club and persona, resulting in a career evolution from daytime talk show host to media mogul, philanthropist, and cultural kingmaker whose endorsements and business decisions shaped American discourse. At the time of the episode, Winfrey was 52 years old and at the absolute peak of her talk show's influence with 25 million weekly viewers, earning $275 million annually with a net worth of $1.5 billion. While her book club was facing scandal, following her January 2006 confrontation with author James Frey over fabrications in his memoir, A Million Little Pieces that she had previously endorsed, resulting in a public on-air grilling that became one of her most watched episodes. She was in a long-term relationship with Stedman Graham since 1986, with an engagement announced in 1992, though they never married, living in her Chicago co-op, and focusing on her media empire and philanthropic work, including the opening of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa in January 2007. The Oprah Winfrey Show continued until its final episode on May 25, 2011, after 25 seasons and 4,561 episodes that made it the highest-rated daytime talk show in American television history, during which she conducted landmark interviews, including a 2005 Tom Cruise appearance where he jumped on her couch and a 2009 interview with Whitney Houston discussing drug abuse. Her endorsement of Barack Obama during the 2008 Democratic primary, announced in December 2007 and followed by campaign appearances in Iowa, South Carolina, and New Hampshire, was credited by economists with delivering over 1 million votes and potentially tipping the primary in Obama's favor, demonstrating her unprecedented political influence and marking her first-ever presidential endorsement. At some point following the talk show's conclusion, Winfrey launched OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, in January 2011 in partnership with Discovery Inc., which struggled initially with low ratings and financial losses before finding success with scripted series like Queen Sugar and Greenleaf, and Winfrey's interview specials, including a 2021 interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry that drew 17.1 million viewers. Her production company, Harpo Productions, founded in 1986, produced her talk show, Dr. Phil, Rachel Ray, and numerous other television programs and films, while her magazine The Oprah magazine launched in 2000 and ran until December 2020, when it ceased monthly print publication to become quarterly, with digital operations continuing. The business ventures she expanded include a partnership with Weight Watchers, now WW, beginning in 2015, where she purchased a 10% stake for $43 million and served as board member and spokesperson, though she resigned from the board in February 2024, citing conflicts with her use of weight loss medications, having donated her shares to the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. Her investment in the cable network True Food Kitchen, wellness company WW, and production deals with Apple TV Plus announced in 2018 for a multi-year content partnership valued at hundreds of millions of dollars, expanded her media reach beyond traditional television into streaming and digital platforms. Winfrey's book club evolved from a talk show segment into a standalone brand partnering with Apple in 2019, with her selections continuing to drive enormous sales spikes for chosen authors, while her interviews and speaking engagements command fees exceeding $1 million, and her annual Oprah's Favorite Things lists generate millions in sales for featured products. The philanthropic work she expanded includes over $400 million in charitable donations throughout her career, with the South Africa School receiving over $140 million despite scandals involving staff abuse of students in 2007 and financial mismanagement allegations, while she established the Oprah Winfrey Charitable Foundation and the Oprah Winfrey Operating Foundation to formalize her giving. Over time, Winfrey faced criticism for promoting pseudoscience through guests like Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil, who later launched problematic independent careers, for platforming anti-vaccine advocate Jenny McCarthy, and for endorsing questionable health trends, though defenders note her positive influence in destigmatizing therapy and promoting literacy vastly outweighed these issues. As of 2026, Winfrey maintains a net worth estimated at $2.8 billion, making her one of the richest self-made women in America. Continues to produce content through her Apple TV Plus partnership, including interview specials and book club segments, remains unmarried to Graham after 40 years together, by choice, stating, "Marriage doesn't align with their relationship, has no children by choice." Though she considers the girls at her South Africa school her daughters, maintains homes in Montecito, California, Maui, Hawaii, and other locations, uses her platform to advocate for voting rights and political causes while avoiding formal endorsements since 2008, and remains arguably the most influential woman in American media history whose cultural impact spans talk shows, publishing, film, television production, and philanthropy across 5 decades. If you enjoyed this deep dive into what happened to South Park's biggest celebrity targets and want to see more, click the link on screen now.